Hold on, family. We're having a technical difficulty. Don't you go nowhere. We're gonna resolve this quick. Don't you go nowhere, family. We'll be right back. Ah, technical difficulties and glitches in the digital age, family. It happens, and it's all right. Peace and Black Power, family. When the times get tough, the tough people get tougher. We don't back up or retreat. We don't cry, bellyache, complain, or grieve. We get to work. With that said, I'm seeing a lot going on that's telling me that those of us who either proclaim to be leaders, people see us as leaders, we're reluctant, but we got leadership skills and experience, have to step up right now at this precise time. Not retreat, but step up, accelerate our efforts, and find ways to be even more effective with our efforts. Um, with that said, a few quick housekeeping announcements. You know that we have an event today on my other channel, Wakusa Empowerment Channel, and we have a sister named Larice Brown coming on tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern. She's a school to work transition and career planning expert. She's going to tell us how planning our career in ways that are relevant to our skills and our preferences and seeking high impact jobs will help us to empower ourselves. Obviously, we're going to have work, make a meaningful income for those who are not entrepreneurs, for those who are working, for a company. Check her out. Wakusa Empowerment Channel tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern. Secondly, I want to shout out my brother Baba Afam over in Brooklyn. This brother has created an organization called Strategic Black Empowerment Training, and its sole purpose is to spread the teachings of the most honorable Dr. Amos Wilson. He found out that he has lineage in Sierra Leone through doing DNA testing in AfricanAncestry.com. And Sierra Leone has a policy that if you are part of the African diaspora, you use Ancestry.com to test your DNA, and it determines that you have lineage in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, if you can get there during their program, they have a certain celebration and program, they will give you dual citizenship, and with that, you will get a passport that gives you entry to like 13 other African countries. So he has a GoFundMe family. His time is running out. We're trying to help this brother raise about 3 grand. And we can do it if a bunch of us give a little bit. If a whole lot of us give a little bit, we can do it. The description, that link is in the description section of this video. Let us help our brother, please. We got to pull together, family. We are all we got. But when we organize effectively, we're all we need. Let me go to some quick comments. First, we got there's my brother right. Oh, there's Baba Atiba right there in the building. That's what's up. That's my Baba right there over in Atlanta, Georgia. Doing big things, been in the struggle, was in the 5% Nation, Black Panther Party, started his own comedic branch or approach to yoga. And if you saw the live that we had with him, the brother in the middle of our interview, I asked him to give us a demonstration. He bust into a full lotus headstand, family. He's the truth. He ain't one of these pretenders. He's the truth. And he's 70 years old, I might add. Welcome him. Our sister Natari in the building. She says she's here. Ashe to our sister. She's a very strong supporter uh, of this channel, Wakusa Empowerment. Thank you so much, my sister, for your resilience, for standing there with us, and for supporting us. Now, family, I do want to get into something very important, and I'm going to get into that now. And hold on one second. So let me start officially. There was a time I was doing these what I call Black Power sermon broadcasts because I knew that, we associate a sermon in the Black community with a strong, powerful word, an inspiring word that we need to hear that's relevant. I'm going to bring those back, although they're going to be on Fridays, not Sundays, as you would typically associate with a sermon. Um, and I'm doing this because I feel we need to take a critical look at our Black liberation movement. Not just cheerlead it, we need to be critical of it, family, because there's places where we can do better. There's lessons that we need to learn and to employ, right? So that's important to me. as a historian, a sociologist, and an educator. Putting those together, we don't just cheerlead, right? Uncritically. We support people, but we critically support them, right? And this includes our organization. So consider this the first live, but I'm going to be doing this every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, every Friday on Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel because I want to make sure that we keep our lane, that we hold our lane down. And our lane at Harlem Liberation School is helping our people wake up, clean up, and stand up with relevant, critical, black centered, black power, Pan African nationalist information that you're not going to get from just every other channel. That's just a fact. That's just what it is. Um, the purpose of this particular live broadcast is to take and all of these broadcasts that will begin on Friday. This is the first one, but it will be on Fridays at 7 p.m. Is to take a lovingly critical look at our Black liberation movements, not to tear it down, not to call people out, not to create even more division in our community, but to sharpen us, because they say that steel or iron sharpens steel or iron. The title of today's discussion is, and I have so many topics in my head, family: results over rhetoric, be rhetoric light and results heavy, whatever. Because our people and our organizations, we cannot afford uh, to be heavy on the slogans and the rhetoric and the symbolism and the speeches, but light on the strategy, the organizing, the logistics, and the actual tangible outcomes for our people. We can't afford that. So I want to break down three quick things. And that's one I want to get into very quickly. What is rhetoric and why it actually does matter? Because I'm not arguing that we should not have rhetoric. Number two, why rhetoric is not a substitute for real, tangible results. And number three, a very simple formula or blueprint that every organization, leader, activist, community organizer can use to help point their direction and themselves in the direction of producing tangible results, not getting too caught up in just the propagandistic component of the organizing. We organize for reasons. We're trying to get results. We're trying to push the needle, right? Push the envelope, create change, right? Okay. So let's get into it. What's rhetoric and why does it matter? Simply put, rhetoric is language that is designed to motivate or inspire people. It's the slogans we chant, it's the speeches we give, it's the social media posts, the flyers, the shirts, the hashtags, the chants, the talking points. And so rhetoric absolutely is important and it does matter. Why? Because movements need language, movements need vision, movements need stories, right? Movements need frameworks that help people to understand the problem, see themselves as part of the solution, identify their adversaries, and come up with actual responses to oppression, right? And I should add that every movement and campaign has used rhetoric. African for the Africans, at home and abroad, said the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Black power, said Stokely Carmichael, who later became Kwame Ture. We shall overcome, said the Black Civil Rights Movement. Hell no, we won't go, said the anti-war movement in the 60s and 70s, all often associated with white college students. But let us not forget, Black people played big roles in that anti-war movement as well. No justice, no peace. We remember from our brother, the late great Alton Maddox, and also from Reverend Al Sharpton. Uh, Hands up, don't shoot was a popular slogan through more recent movements. Say her name was a popular slogan through the Me Too movement. So I want to be clear, rhetoric can help wake our people up. It can help people see the big picture. It can create this kind of emotional connection to a movement because you got to win the hearts and minds of our people. Just spitting facts and doing that ain't going to do that. You got to hit them here and here. Rhetoric helps to build unity and solidarity, and rhetoric helps to spread ideas fast throughout the community. So rhetoric and propaganda, because rhetoric is really a form of propaganda, they are not the enemy. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. Empty rhetoric, unconnected to a tangible action plan, is not good because symbolism without strategy becomes performance, becomes political, just political theater. And performance without power, performance without tangible results at the end of it becomes nothing but a show, a circus. And our people deserve more than a show and a circus. We deserve tangible results. We deserve ideology and propaganda connected to tangible campaigns, tangible results, right? Um, Number two, point I want to make, rhetoric is not a substitute for results. Sometimes, some of us, not all of us, and not all the time, but sometimes some of us confuse just the talking part with transformation. Now, some those of us who talk for a living, that's what we do, then talk is part of what we do, right? But sometimes we mistake content for actual change. Or we think sounding radical, real heavy, catchy rhetoric is the same as producing effective, tangible movement and results for the people. Let me be very clear. A slogan cannot replace a program. A protest cannot replace a plan. A manifesto cannot replace organizing. Going viral in the digital space is not the same as achieving substantial victories for black men, women, and children in this country and all over the world. It's just not. Rhetoric and propaganda, we can forget this very easily. Rhetoric and propaganda are vehicles, they're not the destination. They're supposed to move people toward joining our organizations, doing the reading and research, and getting involved, family, towards strategy, towards measurable improvements in Black life. If the rhetoric we're espousing energizes people, but the organization has no clear strategy, no end game, if the propaganda recruits people into a group that isn't actually building anything and moving us anywhere, if the speeches are fiery and compelling, but the community is still dealing with the exact same problems after every rally and meeting and conference, then the rhetoric is not effective. It's not doing what real political rhetoric is supposed to do, and that's to mobilize and organize people and kind of educate them toward a specific goal and tangible results. Let me stop at this point. I want to acknowledge some people, some comments. I see we got people. First, we got my lovely, lovely queen is in the building. I'm gonna always shout out that gorgeous black woman, that beautiful piece of chocolate she is, Sister Brenda. She is going to be doing her own broadcast soon. I'm going to give you all the information as soon as we're ready to go with that, family. We're going to support the Queen, of course. We have also, okay, she gives Wukusu. She's giving the greetings. Thank you for joining us. Please like, to share, subscribe. That's right, Queen. Let them know. Let them know. Um, we got Amos Wilson breaking chains in the building. All right. Uh, Amos Wilson Breaking Chains says consistent rhetoric used well shapes and forms the conscious mind in order to create the reality that a person or group desires. It's a tool for social psychological training. Absolutely right. I think I kind of covered that in my summary. Almost done. But yes, that's absolutely right. He says, oh, he's letting me know that's Baba FM. Peace, brother. Yes, sir. We announced your GoFundMe at the very beginning, and we're going to announce it later too as well. All right, family. Let me get back. All right. So if the rhetoric isn't attached to those different things I just mentioned, then we've created the illusion of struggle without the fruits of struggle. And movements rise and fall, family, based on what they deliver to our people, right? Actual liberation work produces a few things: safer communities, better schools, alternative schools, right? More African centered schools, more political power and engagement, more economic independence, more self reliance, more politically informed and engaged and protected elders and youth in our community, trained leadership. We're recruiting and training new leadership and raising leadership capacity, more organized neighborhoods that are in better communication with each other, and a more informed Black population. These are tangible, measurable results. This is very important. Now, when rhetoric becomes the centerpiece instead of the supporting tool, movements stagnate and sometimes they die. And keep in mind that while we're doing this, we're not moving, we're not organizing, we're not resisting and building in a vacuum. There is a sworn enemy. There's an adversary, family, and they come in different shapes and forms, and sometimes even colors and races and ethnic groups that are working feverishly, spending billions of dollars, spending many waking hours researching us and trying to find ways to destabilize our movements and to criminalize our people, and particularly to isolate and, in many cases, terminate our leadership because they know that when the body ain't connected to the head, what happens to the body? It dies. So keep in mind, all of these things are important. We're not doing this for play. This ain't playtime, family. We're trying to get things done in the context of, as we're getting these trying to get these things done, there's a group, a mentality, a whole network of organizations working feverishly to stop us, which is why even more than ever we have to be very serious and results driven, research and results driven. Number third point of this broadcast is, and probably the most practical point of this broadcast, is that we have is now a plan. How do we marry our rhetoric or propaganda to tangible results and action designed to achieve certain results? Now, if you're an organizer, educator, activist, nonprofit leader, or part of any Black movement, liberation movement organization, I think this is a formula, a blueprint that you may find helpful. Number one, identify a tangible, measurable result. Those of you who are in leadership may know this as a SMART goal. But for now, we're going to say, ask your group, what exact change or effect are we trying to produce in our community in the next 3 to 12 months? In other words, it's a concrete goal, it's specific, it's measurable, and it has a time frame. Why are all those things important? So you can hold yourself and your organization accountable, right? Uh, so, for instance, achievable. What are some examples? We're going to register 500 new Black voters in Harlem, if that's your thing. We're going to provide after-school tutoring for one school in this neighborhood. We're going to train 20 new community organizers through our organization. We're going to establish a neighborhood safety watch in this community. We're going to raise $10,000 for youth programs. We're going to create a GoFundMe to donate medical supplies to a specific village in the motherland, in Jamaica, where they've had tremendous storms and catastrophes, or anywhere else we need. We're going to write a specific piece of legislation or public policy and try to get that legislation pushed. You see what I'm saying, family? Specific, tangible, measurable. You can measure. Did you get the legislation pushed? Nope, wasn't successful. Did you start the date? Did the after school program? Nope, wasn't successful. Or you did, it was. If you don't have that, it's just a vague sort of, we're going to help the people. Okay, how? When? By when? In what capacity? This is important. This is community organizing 101, fam. If there's no goal, there's no direction or purpose, right? If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. If it isn't relevant, it doesn't matter. And if all those things are not in place, that means if your rhetoric is not connected to all those things, if all those things aren't in play in your organization, your rhetoric is empty, right? Step two, develop rhetoric or propaganda that serves that goal you just created, right? Now and only now is when we craft the messaging. Too often we get the messaging before we develop the goal. And that's putting the the cart before the horse. That's not the way you do that, right? Um, what slogans? What do we say in our flyers? What are our hashtags? What are our talking points? What are the visual designs? What's the speeches, the topics? What's the chants we gonna use? What's our social media posts? But first, remember, you connect all of these things to that specific, measurable, time-based goal. So you got to ask yourself, does this piece of rhetoric or propaganda educate, mobilize, or motivate our people toward this measurable goal that we created? If not, it's noise. If yes, it's a tool. Very simple. Make the rhetoric serve the strategy and the goal, not the other way around. Step three, mobilize, measure, and adjust. In other words, family, use the messaging to recruit people and then track your progress weekly, adjust it as needed. Is this when we give these rallies and we message it our goal this way, are people applauding and clapping? Are people donating? Are people coming into our office and volunteering? Different ways you can measure it and adjust it. If you see it's not working right, go back to the drawing board, reassess it, and come up with alternative ways to get the message out. This is very important. Celebrate your wins. If in fact you raise the money for we raised the money for Baba Afam going to Sierra Leone to get his dual citizenship and spread the words and teachings of Baba Amos Wilson. We celebrate that. We let the community know we've been successful. Too often we focus our energy on the tragedies, the disasters, racist attacks, the things wrong with us, and we don't big each other up. So people become demoralized, right? We have to build momentum. And what I'm arguing is that this is how movements grow. This is how communities transform. This is how rhetoric becomes empowerment instead of entertainment that produces nothing. Family, I'm suggesting that we don't need more slogans. We don't need to yell more. Black power, Agyei, race first, black and proud. All that is great, but we need strategies. We need research driven, measurable, tangible, legitimate, time based strategies connected to those slogans. We don't need to argue and all these debates. We need achievements. We need to go back to our community and say, yeah, we talk loud. You see us in the news, and some people don't like us, but this is what we achieved. This is what we've done. This is very important, right? Being rhetoric light and results heavy does not mean stop the rhetoric. It doesn't mean stop your propaganda campaign. It means do this with purpose. Speak with direction. Speak with a plan behind it. Because our ancestors didn't survive on slogans. You know, they could have had a slogan that said "Eat to live," but you better believe that Nation of Islam under Elijah Muhammad was making pies with navy beans, pies with butternut squash. There was a strategy to it. Eat to live was a slogan, but they had a strategy. This is how we're gonna operationalize this concept. This is how we're gonna slowly change the diet of our people. They taught about the pig and how it could give you disease and how it was unclean. They got millions of us off of eating swine, red meat, got many of us into a vegetarian. I mean, so this is what I'm trying to say, right? Garvey's banging on the white dolls that our little children are playing with. He don't just bang with the rhetoric. He creates a black doll manufacturing company. Do y'all see what I'm saying here? Our ancestors didn't just do the slogans. They built schools, churches, black cooperatively owned businesses, newspapers, credit unions, freedom organizations, freedom and liberation schools, and self defense units. They organized, they executed, they produced. So, my call to action for everybody watching this, family, before your next debate, meeting, post, protest, rally, or giveaway, please ask this question. What measurable, tangible, time-based result are we working toward? And what rhetoric or propaganda will help us get there? And if we commit to asking and answering that question, I guarantee you we're going to build more effective, stronger, healthier organizations and communities. And a movement that, like the Black liberation movements before us, can talk about actual accomplishments and victories, right? One measurable victory at a time. Thank you for tapping in with Harlem Liberation School. I'm going to see if we have some comments I want to get to, then I'm going to close this because you all have other things to do. We have, let's see, I'm scrolling, family. Uh, Baba Atiba. Oh wait, this is Baba Afam. Also wants people to know he's also Meridian Touch Yoga. This brother created, just like Baba Atiba created his own form of yoga, this brother created his own form of yoga as well. Very interesting. We got brothers and sisters, man, that are unbelievably creative and innovative. They're doing real work, right? And that's important to know. It's very important to know. Uh, so Baba Fam says, so glad you're doing this. We need to hear and understand what you're laying down. Thank you, good brother. He says, I'm also about creating African-centered education initiatives and health improvement initiatives. This is what we're talking about. We got to get a, we, sometimes we, what we did was we got onto the entertainment and the propagandistic part, and we forgot the propaganda isn't the outcome, it's the vehicle, right? It's very important. We understand we can't get this twisted. Our enemies are effective, not just because they got great slogans, right? But because they got a almost 1,000 page playbook called Project 2025 that every day you turn on the news and you look in your communities and see the havoc that they're creating comes right out that playbook. They taken their plan, tangible plans, timeline based, measurable plans. Go and look it up, Project 2025, a whole book you can download it. Or you can, I don't know why you'd buy it, but and then one by one in all these different areas have outlined this is what we're doing. This is why. This is the intended effect. This is by when we want to do it. And everything you see happening is coming right out that playbook. They're not just doing let's kill the N-words, let's imprison the N-words, let's character assassinate the N-words, let's fire the N-word. They're doing it. They're doing it. And their rhetoric supports what they're doing by saying that these cities are criminal. That rhetoric supports the action, but the rhetoric is tied to very specific action on the ground. And that's important. Family, thank you so much. Don't forget, support Baba FM. Go to the description section of this video. Click the link, his GoFundMe. Family, please, if you can give $5, give 5, give 10, give what you can. All right. If you didn't make it to church today, put your offering in tithes and give it to Brother Bob so that he can take that and get to the motherland, get his dual citizenship in Sierra Leone, and spread the teachings of the Honorable Baba Dr. Amos Wilson. Also, family, don't forget tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have our broadcast on Wakusa Empowerment Channel with Sister Larice Brown. She's going to be telling us how, for those of us who are like 35 and older, how do we pivot? Those of us looking to work, let's say, in traditional jobs, how do we pivot? How do we retool ourselves? What do we do to make sure that we can still make money and support ourselves and our families? Um, for those of us who are entrepreneurs, you may still get something from this too. She's written a whole book. She's very good at this. Tune in, family, get some strategies and some tips and good information. With that said, peace and black power, family. Don't you listen to the white corporate control media and the pundits. We will win if we get our ish together, and very soon. Peace.